Welcome back for another daily devotion. The theme for today's daily devotion actually is the start of school. Today's the first day of preschool here. It's the first day of public school. I don't know if you've been homeschooling, then you do what you do when you do it. But we have this opportunity here in the fall to talk about new beginnings and a sense of excitement. So I thought it would be good to just start off a little bit at the beginning, and I mean the real beginning. So here's Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Okay, so we've got days of creation kind of floating around in our head. We've got the first verse of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and floating around in our heads. And then we've got the world. So textually, things to pick up on. Genesis 1 through 3 is, or possibly even 4, is one giant oral history sitting around the campfire. And it's written in such a way that you have these prompts. So there was evening, there was morning, day 1. So it helps you, day 2, day 3. It helps you to actually get yourself into the rhythm for telling the story, right? And so you have all of these things lined out. But it also is a kind of an anthropology. It says, who are we? Where did we come from? How did we get here? And who's ultimately in charge? So you'll notice in Genesis 1, especially the first day, no humans. No humans, because we aren't here. And who is the actor? God. So this introduces who's the most important person in the story and what the book is all about. So it's not, I know the Bible's a curated book. The different books could be in a different order in Bibles, and certainly they are in some Bibles. I'll bore you with that on a different day. So here are a few things. That little bit about the world. We're not necessarily keyed in here on order of creation, right? What this is he's going to create the world, and the world is central to everything that is in the ancient mind. That is to say, they don't have a cosmic or a universal view. They have a worldly view. Why? Because they're stuck on the world. And they don't have telescopes, and they certainly don't have Hubble space telescopes, and they don't have episodes of Star Trek where they go over the boundary of the galaxy. Good job, Jim. So this world that we're standing on is the only most important thing. And from a certain standpoint, having a geocentric or Earth-centric universe, I know it's wrong astronomically, but it makes a lot of sense in our brain because we're the middle of everything we do. And that's going to drive one of our devotional points here. So this is not to say order necessarily, I wasn't there, but it's not to say the order is the sphere was created first and then God did everything else. The thing is to say, how did the coming of the world actually end up being? And we got to talk about that. And we've got to put into your brain that things didn't start off with just fully formed, right? God puts things, he decorates things. So if you want systematic categories, there are 3 days of creation, so the first 3, and 3 days of adornment, where God puts stuff on creation. Well, that's not actually true. It's 2.5 and 3.5. Yeah, super. But it's 3 and 3, so a fun way to kind of memorize that. For the text here are 2 devotional moves. So there are 2 devotional moves that just spring right out of this. One is this anthropocentric or me-centric or egocentric sort of view, and we can't help it, right? You're stuck in your brain, I'm stuck in my brain. My brain is the most important thing to me, your brain is the most important thing to you, and yet here's God way out over here. Here's God as the actual most important thing, period, hands down, par excellence, right? Super. So we take a big deep breath, and devotionally we pray through it, not just looking around at creation and thanking God for his creation, although that is certainly true, but having that moment to say, you're God and I'm not. Prioritize my brain for me. That's a big deal. That's a big ask for us. Okay, so that's one devotional move. The other devotional move is about light and darkness, and you can either go with ignorance and knowledge, or you can go with joy versus fear, or joy versus depression, or anxiety. You can go with just a number of different things, right? A number of different dualities that exist in us that are going to give us problems, right? So you can go with those, and devotionally, this lets us watch the God who can separate them, who can name them. And you can devotionally sort through what's giving you joy and what's bothering you, or what you don't know and what you do know, and let God sort them out and name them. Why would you want to do this? Well, because you're stuck in your brain. In the philosophy of mind, there is a whole theme called the incorrigibility of the mind. And that's fancy talk for you think what you think, and you can't help thinking what you think until you run into somebody else who doesn't think what you think. And surprise, there's other people, right? So having a sense here of the incorrigibility of our mind and letting God separate it out, and God saying, this is what you are, this is what you are not, this is who I am, this is who you are, and letting him be the one to do that. This isn't a putting himself in his place and putting you in your place, as much as it is letting him rule over your thoughts in a much more free-ranging and wide way. So those are our two devotional moves based on Genesis 1:1 for today. I hope you have a great day. God's blessings to you on this first day of school. And if you have kiddos, hooray. I'm excited. If they're starting school, I'm excited. And we will pray for them. Pray for those who are involved in education. Pray for our teachers, because this year, oh boy. And pray for our students, because this year, oh boy. God's blessings to you. Have a wonderful day.